people, this is VOXPOP on CameraBoy TV. We pop the culture and we give it to you 100. My name is Jemima. How are you all doing? And hope you're staying safe. So today we decided to come up with a little something for your viewing pleasure. I'll be asking very few questions here in the beautiful city of Ikeja. I'll be asking what is the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic? And is COVID-19 a pandemic or an epidemic? And lastly, spell the word pneumonia. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Of course, I'll be right back. Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Ezewanta Cynthia.
Okay, Cynthia, how are you today?
Well, I'm fine.
Okay, Cynthia, what's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Pandemic and epidemic. Well, to me, I would say it's the same thing. To me, it's the same thing. Because it's the same thing. It's just like, well, I don't know. It's the same thing to me.
So what's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
That's it, I don't know.
Hey!
Yes, in your own understanding, what do you understand by the word pandemic and an epidemic? What's the difference?
Actually, it's somehow difficult to me to just explain it.
Oh my Jesus.
What's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Hey,
He shot you!
Just answer the damn question.
and I can't define that. I can't define that question.
Are you normal?
Yo, my name is Farouk, but you can call me Tobeski.
Oh, Tobeski, how are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So Tobeski, what's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Hey, pandemic and epidemic. Pandemic is actually, let's say it like this. Pandemic can be described as an epidemic. I think you get what I'm saying now.
No, please, can you take that again?
Pandemic can be described as epidemic.
Okay.
Because epidemic is a disease that spread over a large of countries that affects some populations, while pandemic is a disease that spread in a large cities or something like that. I think maybe I got it or I don't know everything. That's what I know about that for now, please.
Okay, Manuel, what's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
So a pandemic is a disease that affects like all the countries in the universe. Yeah, but an epidemic is restricted to certain parts of the
What's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Pandemic and epidemic. Wow. Actually, that question is somehow big because I'm not ready for this. And I can't give you, but what I can say is that I'll give you how pandemic is to the city, to the country now. Pandemic is something that will affect everybody in the way of aiming, living, and then the way of living and running things around.
Hey, Chinek.
And due to epidemic, I can't say anything to epidemic, but pandemic has affected everybody in a way that we don't even expect.
Okay, Eze, how are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, Eze, what's the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Pandemic and an epidemic. Pandemic is like a disease that comes into a place that makes people to suffer. Sometimes pandemic and you say pandemic and what?
Epidemic.
Epidemic. Pandemic is a disease like corona that came into Nigeria, and they have been trying to solve it, and they have been as in the government is on it. But epidemic, I can't really talk about the epidemic.
Epidemic. So what's epidemic?
I can't really talk about the epidemic.
Just get out.
No, just tell us, what do you understand by pandemic and an epidemic?
I've not heard about that word before.
Is COVID-19 a pandemic or an epidemic?
It's an epidemic. It's a disease that is going to go that it will just take some time or some months on it before the disease will go.
Will you keep quiet?
Okay, spell the word pneumonia for me. Pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Pneumonia. N-I-M-O-N-I-E.
That's N-I-M-O-N-I-A. N-Y-M-O-N-I-A. That's what I know about pneumonia.
Okay, spell the word pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
All right, thank you very much. Lastly, spell the word pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Yes, spell the word pneumonia. N-I-M-O-N-I-A-L. Pneumonia, right?
Oh my days, irú ọmọ wo wá rèé nítorí Ọlọ́run. Mo jẹ jìyà lórí àwọn ọmọ yìí o.